What is up, guys, and welcome to the Bahrain Grand Prix, race number 2 of Season 2 of F1 2019 Career Mode. For those of you who don't follow me on social media or anything, I've been away at the British Grand Prix this weekend, and yeah, this is the Monday after the race. I've got to say, I feel almost a little bit hungover, even though absolutely zero alcoholic beverages were consumed. It was just a very rewarding and very energy draining weekend, but I had some awesome times nonetheless. But yeah, that's kind of why this video is running a little bit late, so apologies about that. We also had some other issues, which I might get into later on in the video. But anyway, here we are for Bahrain, an interesting circuit for us. Coming into this race, we got an update in terms of the power unit. Fortunately for us, we were able to get a minor upgrade for basic engine power, and so that should make us somewhat more competitive at this race, and hopefully we'll be able to contest with the AI coming out of traction zones, and just it should enable us to defend a whole lot more easily against those guys. But practice was fine. We got through all of our programs, and we showed some good promise. So heading into qualifying, once again, I think confidence is pretty high.
Bahrain qualifying is nearly upon us, and the drivers look as if they're all geared up to go. I expect we'll be getting underway very shortly.
Awesome. I don't think I showed you the performance chart, but here it is right now, so you guys can see what it is. We only upgraded the engine, and I believe we were one of only one or two teams, maybe even none. We might have been the only team to upgrade the power unit or upgrade any components coming into this round, so we edged closer towards the top 3 teams, which is quite nice. We get through qualifying 1 on our banker lap, which is nice to see. We now move on to qualifying 2, and I do believe we can get a whole lot more out of the car. We just need to dial ourselves into the circuit a whole lot more, and we should be able to find a few more tenths to get us closer towards our teammate Daniel Ricciardo. Now here we are through our first run in qualifying 2. If this run is good enough, it will hopefully get us through to Q3, and I won't need to do another run on new tyres. But this lap so far has been very good. We come up to the line and we do a 27.7, so the best part of 5 tenths clear of what I did in qualifying 1, and given where I am positioned versus the rest of the field, we'll just skip forward to the next part of qualifying because that time is pretty good. Or maybe it's not pretty good. P11 in the Bahrain Grand Prix. We are, what, a tenth and a half away from our teammate Daniel Ricciardo in P7, and we have been knocked out by less than a tenth. We were like 5 tenths clear, at least, of danger, but we have been absolutely mugged off by Lucas Weber in a Haas, and that has kaplunked us heading into the race. Wow, okay. That's really annoying. I had more pace to give as well in that qualifying lap. I thought I was safe. I thought we were through, but now we're starting from P11. At least we have 3 tyres, but that's annoying.
Tough luck there. It's not quite where we'd want to be on the grid, but chin up, it's not the end of the world.
There's something in the Bahrain air tonight, and I'm not just talking about the sand. Our brightest minds have thrust their brightest ideas into the spotlight of the Sakhir circuit this evening as we look ahead once more to a Grand Prix that has thrilled us so consistently in the past.
Okay, we're looking for a top 7 finish today.
Thanks, Jeff. I think we should be able to pull that off. I mean, like I said, there was a lot more pace to show, to be honest, in qualifying. We really didn't get the maximum out of that. Given that we're doing a 1-stop today, I'd hazard a guess to say that the competitors around us will be doing a 2-stop potentially in this race. So this could give us a huge leg up in terms of our rivals. But 5 red lights and away we go for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Looks like a pretty good start, actually. Chucked it down into lean revs to get the car off the line. It looks like it's worked when you consider the fact that we're running a harder compound than some of those around us. But into turn 1 we go. We got mugged off by a Racing Point and an Alfa Romeo, so not the greatest start, or not the greatest run through turn 1, to be honest, but pace is good. There's no need to stress. We will come back through the field, and looks like we're doing that already. Around the outside of 2 guys there into turn 4. We faked the inside to make them defend, and then we go clean around the outside and do the counter attacking move. I love that the AI is so much more aggressive this year because they dive for the inside. I often find myself going around the outside and braking later and looking for other avenues that are not so, obvious to maybe other players. But yeah, we make that work for us, and we're back in our starting position once again. The two Williams right in front of me, again, seems to be like a 2-year-old glitch where if you don't make it into the final part of qualifying, it will just assume the base 2019 performance and make the Mercedes 1-2 and Ferrari 3-4, etc. Williams were a lot more competitive than what they showed over the course of practice and Q1. Like, Williams were right up there with the top running team, so they, shouldn't have been P9 and P10 for the start of this race. So they'll be ones to watch as they make their way through the field. Lucas Weber, not too sure about him. He's a little bit slower than us in terms of his overall car, so he'll be one that's probably the weakest link inside the top 10 as we got the inside of Kimi Räikkönen in turn 1. He got boxed in by his teammate, and I was, attacking the braking zone, to be fair, but I just moved to the inside, clean as you like. Maybe a slight rub on his right front tyre, but that was quite the reactive move, you'd have to say. We lock up the inside front. Yeah, just the lightest of touches. It's hard racing, as Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc are showing, but it's fair. And we're through into the points now. Ricciardo and Devin Butler getting tangled up on the run into turn 4 there, running side by side and are holding each other up quite a bit. But yeah, the race is now starting to fall into our favour. The opening 3 laps, I got to say, I didn't have the pace of the guys on the softs, but now that their tyres are starting to go off, they're getting a bit more impatient, maybe using up too much of their battery, who knows, but their pace isn't as strong now, and now we certainly have the advantage as they all look to squabble away for these minor placings in this race. So yeah, we just got to play it calmly. You can see that these guys are not playing it calmly at all. A double lockup for Ricciardo into the last corner. I've got Kimi Räikkönen attacking me as well. Slipstream on Perez, who's slipstreaming Weber, who's slipstreaming my teammate. It's all going on in the midfield here, as it looks like it's going to be 3 wide to the outside as we run down the start-finish straight and we try and go around the outside. The Williams is the last of the late breakers. Nearly got my teammate, but Sergio will have to hold on for another couple of corners before he can attack him. But now we got the beautiful run out of turns 2 and 3. Ricciardo going defensive, and now we might potentially get him as well. This race is bonkers. Absolutely nuts. We've gone from P11 down to P13, and now we're back up into the high life of the best of the rest positions in this race. Ricciardo, what are you doing? I was hoping he'd stay defensive and I'd go around the outside. He covered that off. He's been doing his homework. He knows how I like to race.
Okay, I think the effects of the tyre deg are going to kick in soon. We should be alright for the time being, but you will start to find it a bit more slippery out there. Your brakes are at optimal temperature. Brakes at optimal temperature.
I need a breather. I need to calm down. Things are getting very feisty in this GP. But yeah, I was asking you about the vehicle condition because when I was engaging in combat with the Williams, I noticed my front left end plate was slightly damaged. It's like a lime green color. If it's a bright green color, it's normal, but it's lime green. So there's some kind of damage maybe on the underside of the wing or one of the winglets or end plates is just doesn't have its full shape or something like that. I don't feel like there is any damage, but I did notice that, and that did have me concerned somewhat as we get past our teammate now. And here comes Sergio looking for an avenue up the inside of my teammate. Looks like he'll get that job done. Big lock up for me. So front tyres here at Bahrain are not loving life, it seems. Probably rear tyres as well wouldn't be faring too well around this circuit as well. This is a high tyre deg circuit. But anyway, settling into this race, we're doing pretty well. We are going to have the lead of the Grand Prix eventually after everyone stops. Some of the leaders have made their stops, my teammate being one of them. He's in a pit stop battle with Sergio Perez and also Lucas, and it's all how you were coming into the pit lane with Lucas in front and Sergio Perez behind Daniel Ricciardo. Leclerc now pits, and that relinquishes me into the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix with me doing a 1-stop. Everyone who started on softs is now doing a 2-stop, which is interesting. Yeah, all those 2-stop runners now encountering some traffic. This is Lance Stroll and also I can't bloody remember who it was. I think it was Romain Grosjean. getting in the way. No, it's not Grosjean. We can't assume. It's Nico Hulkenberg in the Haas now. I can't assume that like the 2019 drivers are still there. Like there's a lot of driver transfers which have happened, which I need to remember. But anyway, pit stop time for us. We really attacked that pit lane there, literally to the limits of speeding. But yeah, we made up good time, and into the pit lane we go. You would have noticed from the clips earlier that the Ferraris were getting held up behind, yeah, Nico Hulkenberg and the other dude, I can't even remember. But anyway, that certainly helped me, and it means that we're somewhat closer to those guys as we rejoin on the circuit now with one pit stop remaining for everyone else around us. We are going to the end of this Grand Prix. We emerge right in front of Valtteri Bottas on soft compound tyres. Some people, like the Mercedes for example, have gone onto softs again. Makes absolutely no sense. The softs are not a durable tyre around here, and they will be absolutely nowhere in this race. Devin Butler getting tangled up with bloody Albon and Bottas. So that will be a battle worth watching. But at the front here, we cut forward a couple of laps. Everyone who was doing the two-stop now made their final stop of the Grand Prix, and now we have the lead of the race once again. And now it's down to Vettel and Hamilton to chase me down for the lead of this race. So part of the reason why this video is a bit shorter than you would expect is because I lost about 7 or 8 laps. My PC actually crashed, and the recording from the middle stint of the race, I completely lost it, so I wasn't able to recover it. But there wasn't really anything worth showing. There was only a couple of replays of the AI overtaking each other, but that was essentially it. Nothing really happened on my screen. I overtook people who were in the pit lane, and so here we are on old hard compound tyres, just trying to manage the gap behind to Vettel now, who is closing me in quite a bit. And on this particular lap, I'm actually pushing for a fastest lap. I've been saving my tires, I looked after my battery, and now I'm like literally deploying all of my battery in an effort to see what we can do. And it is a fastest lap of the Grand Prix, which is very surprising. Vettel's tires are degrading faster than mine, but I still feel like he's faster. He's consistently faster than me, but like we saw on that last lap, when I charge everything up and go for outright pace, I still can be faster than those guys, but I again need to charge up the battery again, which is what I was doing on lap 28. And on lap 29 again, we are pushing for another fastest lap. It looks likely that we will win this race. Tyres are holding out quite well, and it's just a case of the fuel load burning off now. That is giving me the extra pace, and yeah, the tyres just could literally almost run all day, which is nice. But yeah, like I said, Vettel was consistently faster and closing me in, but I guess he really wasn't going for a fastest lap run. I think he was just consistently trying to chip away at the gap, but unfortunately it looks like he's just going to run out of time and potentially, for me, not have as good tyre wear. I don't know. But anyway, through the final corner, this is going to be another win for our F1 2019 career mode. That was unexpected.
Absolutely fantastic. It's a brilliant result. Well done.
It was a magnificent race and a drive right out of the top drawer to take the win for Renault. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, Crofty, this was won through an abundance of speed and an abundance of skillful overtakes. Inside, outside, cutting underneath, we saw it all today. And it's really nice to see a Grand Prix won in that manner. A race, surely, that will satisfy the purists today, I think.
Here come today's winning drivers, and what a race it was. This is a team that knows success very well in F1, and they're just itching for even more. Congratulations to the Renault team for their excellent win today.
Wow. A win at Bahrain. These don't come very often in the F1 games, especially as of late. But we have managed to pull it off with virtue of getting knocked out in qualifying 2. Starting on the harder compounded tyre and making the one-stop work. Just about everyone else doing a two-stop, with the exception of everyone else who started outside the top 10. Ricciardo having an absolute shocker today. He stopped early and went on to softs again, so he did that crap strategy of getting off those tyres. Bottas did that same strategy as well and got absolutely swamped in the field. I think for both of those guys, they both got caught up in midfield runners and couldn't really overtake for some reason. And then, yeah, just the pace was shocking. But we find ourselves in P3 in the driver's standings. I don't really know how. After the non-points finish in Australia, we get the win today, and we are now all of a sudden, we have slightly higher chances of now being in the championship hunt. Still a long way away from Lewis Hamilton, but it's a long season, so we shall see how it all plays out, especially with the research and development. But there we go, guys. That has been this Grand Prix for today. Again, apologies about the PC crashing and missing a small section of the race, a small uneventful section of the race. But I hope that you guys were able to get the full picture of what happened in the race. Nonetheless, we get a absolutely huge chunk of resource points for qualifying 4th or higher in the Australian Grand Prix. That was a bonus there. And yeah, we had some points from last round which we couldn't really spend, so yeah, we had a higher tally in this one. So in terms of upgrades, we're going to go for the major power upgrade, and that will go on the car in time for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, so a much needed upgrade there. In terms of other upgrades, I'm just weighing them up at the moment. We don't really need downforce all too much. I was contemplating doing an upgrade for the brakes, because I feel like the braking performance is a little bit weak. I can't exactly lunge the AI all too often in a 1v1 battle. I can when they're boxed in behind other cars, like we saw with Kimi Raikkonen today. But that will be an upgrade I target in the future, maybe next episode. But today we're going to focus on the energy recovery system, and that should give us a more consistent running pace in the race so that we can utilize more battery and we don't have to charge it up so much in order to pump out fast laps. This way we'll be able to be more consistent and use higher deployment modes to fend off any threats we might have from behind. But there we go, guys. That has been this Grand Prix for today, Bahrain. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more racing game content. 2 major engine upgrades coming for Azerbaijan, and that could be the difference between us being 4th on the development chart and maybe being the best. But we'll see how the AI respond. Until then, I'll see you next time.